Why is a company posting record profits, leaving its American buyers waiting months for basic parts? Daedong Industrial, Kioti's parent company, just closed fiscal year 2025 with a 68.3% jump in operating profit. Record revenue of 1.48 trillion won. The boardroom in South Korea is pivoting hard into AI, robotics, and autonomous farming. But in service bays across North America, Kioti owners are reportedly waiting 2 to 3 months for a single sensor. The parts are disappearing from dealer shelves, and the money has never been better. So where exactly is it going? According to the Provisional Consolidated Financial Report released by Daedong Industrial, for the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2025, the company achieved its highest revenue in history. This audit shows a total of approximately 1.48 trillion won in consolidated revenue, representing a 4.2% increase from the previous year. The manufacturer attributes this growth to resilient overseas markets. At the same time, operating profit reached approximately 31.1 billion won, an increase of 68.3% year-over-year. These record-breaking numbers establish the parent company of Kioti as a highly successful international manufacturer. But for an individual buyer sitting in a cold workshop, waiting weeks for a critical component, these corporate milestones do not resolve the immediate problem. While the balance sheet reflects robust global health, the physical reality for the owner remains a stationary tractor and an empty shelf. The widening gap between corporate financial success in South Korea and the daily reality of local parts support creates a stark contradiction for the American consumer. In the corporate offices in South Korea, the vision for the future is clear. Daedong Industrial has announced a strategic shift for the year 2026. The manufacturer is allocating substantial capital to transform itself into an AI and robotics company. Plans include autonomous tractors, robotic transport machinery, and smart farming networks, with a target revenue of 1.65 trillion won. This raises a difficult question for property owners in North America. Why does a manufacturer with the resources to build autonomous agricultural robots struggle to supply basic parts to its existing customer base? While engineers in South Korea develop advanced software, buyers in the United States report waiting months for simple components. This is not to say that the pursuit of artificial intelligence caused the part shortage, but it does reveal where corporate priorities are focused. While the company builds the future, some owners are left holding the bill for the present. The diesel particulate filter system on a modern compact tractor depends on a small differential pressure sensor. This sensor monitors the exhaust pressure before and after the filter to calculate soot accumulation. If the tractor control system receives an irregular or implausible signal from this sensor, the engine computer immediately triggers a protective state known as limp mode. This safety feature cuts engine power to prevent physical damage. For many operators, a malfunctioning sensor also prevents the tractor from performing its automatic regeneration cycles. When 2 consecutive regeneration cycles are missed, the machine requires a manual dealer reset and computer reprogramming to clear the fault. While a new replacement sensor costs between $250 and $600, the true cost of a failure is rarely limited to the price of the plastic and wire. One documented owner case resulted in a written repair estimate of more than $20,000. This estimate did not represent the cost of a simple sensor swap, but rather the compounding expense of field diagnostics, flatbed transport to a regional facility, extensive technician labor at $119 per hour, and a potential engine replacement following a major system failure. This particular owner endured 2 months of downtime while waiting for the distribution network to source the necessary parts and resolve the issue. An active manufacturer warranty may cover the physical component, but it cannot return 60 days of lost time. When a tractor sits immobilized in a service bay, the work on the property simply stops. Fields remain unprepared for planting. Pastures grow overgrown. Winter snow piles up in the driveway, and daily livestock feeding chores must be completed by hand. The real cost of a missing part is measured in the essential labor that does not get done. The physical route of a replacement part begins at the Daedong manufacturing facilities in South Korea. From there, the component is loaded into a shipping container, travels by ocean freight across the Pacific, and arrives at a United States port of entry. For many years, the primary destination for these containers has been the Central Parts, Service, and Fulfillment Center located in Wendell, North Carolina, which supports a network of more than 450 dealers. This eastern hub was bolstered in 2018 by a $13 million corporate investment to expand the North American headquarters and increase parts capacity. To address logistics delays in the western half of the continent, the manufacturer opened a new regional logistics hub in Tumwater, Washington. This massive facility spans 146,327 square feet, featuring 26 dock doors and 36-foot clearance. Operations began in phases in May 2025, with a formal public announcement following in July of that same year. The Tumwater warehouse is designed to serve as the primary supply node for dealers in the Pacific Northwest, the Upper Midwest, and Western Canada. On paper, this dramatic expansion of square footage suggests a definitive solution to the parts shortage. However, a large building does not automatically translate to a full parts counter at your local dealership. While corporate press releases focus heavily on physical capacity, they do not disclose the actual performance metrics. The public documentation does not provide fill rates for needed parts, average delivery lead times, backorder durations, or dealer-level shelf inventories. Without these critical numbers, a warehouse is just a shell. Consequently, despite millions of dollars of capital investment, some owners continue to report waits of 2 to 3 months for basic parts shipped by ocean freight. For the individual buyer, the gap between corporate infrastructure and local service bay availability remains wide. An unauthorized party gained access to the digital network of Daedong USA around January 23, 2024. This security failure remained completely undetected for 9 months, until corporate officers discovered the intrusion on October 31, 2024. The breach exposed the sensitive records of 10,643 individuals across the United States. Compromised information included full names, addresses, dates of birth, social security numbers, bank account details, and health insurance records. Officials did not begin mailing notification letters to the affected individuals until February 20, 2025. Official regulatory filings detailing the security lapse were subsequently submitted to state attorneys general in Maine, Texas, Massachusetts, and Vermont. This incident revealed a separate administrative vulnerability within the American division during a period of rapid physical warehouse expansion. While this cybersecurity failure did not cause the physical parts shortage, it did show that the corporate systems managing buyer data were experiencing their own internal vulnerabilities while owners waited for support. To understand why parts are disappearing from shelves, a prospective buyer must look past the shiny paint and change how they evaluate a tractor. You are not buying a machine, you are buying a parts counter. If that counter is empty when you need it most, the mechanical horsepower sitting in your barn is practically useless. To evaluate the strength of these physical counters, the agricultural industry tracks what are known as big dealers, which the Equipment Dealers Association defines as dealer groups operating 5 or more locations. According to reports from the Equipment Dealers Association, the number of these big dealers across the wider equipment market declined to exactly 199 in 2026, following 4 consecutive years of industry contraction. The same association reports show that exactly 27.5% of all equipment dealers experienced active profitability struggles in 2025. This consolidation directly impacts the rural community, bringing fewer service bays to local towns. Roughly 65% of farmers in the United States report having access to fewer equipment dealerships than they did 5 years earlier. It is important to clarify that these industry-wide figures describe the general agricultural retail environment rather than a direct count of Kioti dealerships specifically, and they do not prove that every local dealer is failing. However, they do reveal a tightening market where local support is no longer guaranteed. For an older rural property owner, this statistical shift translates to a simple, sobering question. When your equipment breaks down in the middle of hay season, will there still be an open door and a knowledgeable face within driving distance of your farm gate? A dealer locator website can easily display pins on a map. However, a digital icon does not turn wrenches or stock parts shelves. The actual service bay requires a massive, ongoing physical investment. A functioning dealership must maintain specialized diagnostic computers, proprietary service tools, and a staff of certified technicians who receive regular factory training. There is also the heavy financial burden of physical inventory. Holding slow-moving, proprietary components on a shelf represents a significant carrying cost for a local business owner. Yet, without that immediate local stock, a central distribution center in North Carolina or Washington cannot diagnose a tractor at your farm gate or perform a rapid warranty repair. Kioti points to a corporate network of more than 450 dealers across North America. But these listings do not represent equal capability. A location specializing in light consumer lawnmowers might lack the heavy diagnostic software, specialized training, or the bay space needed to handle a complex diesel particulate filter failure on a utility tractor. When the nearest capable service counter is 2 hours away, the logistical friction and transportation costs fall entirely on the owner. Hauling a disabled multi-ton machine requires a flatbed, specialized towing equipment, and hours of travel. This distance multiplies scheduling delays and warranty processing friction. This heavy reliance on the local layer raises a fundamental operational risk. When an owner is completely dependent on this local service pipeline, what happens to the machinery in the barn if the corporate importer or the dealer network itself ceases to function? On January 17, 2008, Farmtrac North America announced the sudden shutdown of its operations. This immediate corporate closure placed approximately 180 employees on temporary layoff and sent shockwaves through a retail network of roughly 300 distributors across the United States and Canada. Overnight, these local small business owners and the farmers who bought from them found themselves completely abandoned by the corporate importer. The factory warranties on thousands of active machines were voided instantly, leaving buyers to absorb the entire cost of any mechanical failures. At the same time, there was no centralized parts distribution system left to supply local service bays with even basic maintenance items. To keep their machinery running, owners were forced to bypass traditional dealership channels entirely. They turned to independent parts sellers, regional agricultural salvage yards, and informal online user forums to source essential components like gaskets, filters, and engine gears. Because Farmtrac relied on original equipment manufacturers in India and Europe to build and rebadge their machines, the physical tractors were still being produced overseas. However, without a functioning domestic importer to manage customs, coordinate ocean freight, and honor service agreements, the local parts pipeline simply vanished. Dealerships that had invested heavily in inventory and tooling were suddenly holding unsellable stock. This historical shutdown stands as a clear precedent for importer continuity risk. It is not a prediction of a Kioti collapse, but it does illustrate how quickly a disruption at the national level can render local support non-existent. When the importing entity fails, the local dealer is stripped of its factory backing, and the tractor owner is left holding the bill for an unsupported machine. In this industry, when the parts counter closes, the tractor becomes little more than an expensive lawn ornament. A second, parallel precedent unfolded during that same period with Montana tractors. These machines were rebadged, Korean-assembled utility tractors. In the equipment industry, Rebadging refers to the practice of selling machinery under a brand name that is different from the underlying manufacturer or assembler. Beneath the Montana badge, the enterprise relied on a web of corporate relationships, including reported financial backing associated with LG ownership and logistics distribution managed through J.B. Hunt. Before its collapse, the brand reportedly claimed a network of approximately 350 dealers across North America, a figure that remains pending primary source confirmation. When the financial backers of the brand chose to liquidate the company around 2008, that entire network was wiped out. The liquidation did not merely shut down corporate offices, it instantly terminated active warranty channels, eliminated official parts support, and erased access to proprietary diagnostic software and factory parts catalogs. The tractors themselves remained mechanically valuable, solid machines, but they were suddenly orphaned. This historical case shows the structural lesson that an importer's corporate failure can leave a valuable machine without any accountable domestic support. Owners were forced to hunt for cross-referenced part numbers and source vital components from generic suppliers. To be clear, these historical precedents do not establish that Kioti is facing an impending collapse. But they do prove that when you buy a tractor, you are participating in a corporate pipeline. If that pipeline breaks at the top, the physical machine in your barn is cut off from the parts counter. When evaluating your next purchase, remember the lesson of the dead badge. Count the dealers within an hour of your gate. Buy the counter, not the badge. Before placing a deposit, a buyer must look past the paint and run a systematic local audit. Count the authorized dealers within 15 minutes of your property. Next, count those within 1 hour. A servicing dealer 90 minutes away represents a meaningful risk to your operation when a machine is disabled in the field. Call the nearest parts counter directly. Ask if they physically stock basic maintenance parts like filters, belts, and hoses, or if every order requires a shipment from North Carolina or Washington. Distinguish between a part existing somewhere in the national logistics network and one sitting on a shelf within driving distance. Ask if the location stocks the specific diesel particulate, filter sensors, and model-specific electronics for your exact engine. Verify that they have a factory-trained technician and the precise diagnostic computer required to clear a fault code. Confirm who will perform your warranty work if this specific location closes or stops carrying the brand. Request current service lead times in writing. By converting distance and actual shelf stock into a hard decision before you purchase, you protect your investment from future downtime. You are not buying a machine, you are buying a parts counter. Buy the counter, not the badge. Orphan dread is a quiet but very real concern for any property owner. It is the persistent, heavy fear of being left with an unsupported machine that you cannot repair, troubleshoot, or sell. To protect your homestead, you must make a highly deliberate choice. The only durable measure of security is a reachable, functioning parts counter, not global corporate scale, a glossy brochure, or a painted badge. A legacy dealer located 15 minutes from your driveway is always more valuable to your daily operations than an imported brand situated 90 minutes away. Record corporate profits and massive regional warehouses mean nothing to you if the specific sensor you need is not sitting on a local shelf. When you stand at the crossroads of this purchase, do not let corporate marketing dictate your future. You are the final decision maker. Remember, you are not buying a machine. You are buying a parts counter. Before you sign the paperwork and hand over your hard-earned money, apply the practical rule. Count the dealers within an hour of your gate. Buy the counter, not the badge. Today, the distance between corporate balance sheets and your barn floor remains a choice. As global brands expand, your daily operation depends on the local shelf, not the distant warehouse. Your security is measured in miles and minutes, not corporate profits. Protect your homestead accordingly. Share your experiences with local parts availability in the comments below.